Big Balls Fantasy Football, the only show by real fantasy football fans, for real fantasy football fans. I'm your host, 20-year fantasy veteran, Greg Reifsteck.
And I am your co-host, Jenilee Borek, also a 10-year fantasy veteran and a big Chicago Bears fan. I'm in my brand new jersey for the season, so I'm very excited about that. And together we are the beauty
and the beast
of fantasy football experts.
So all of you out there, I can see you all out there. You're all wading around in the muck, in the mire. It's yet another bye week, but it is the worst bye week. There are the most fantasy quarterbacks that actually mean something out this week. Tell us about it, Jenilee.
That's right. We have Peyton Manning out, who I know is killing a lot of you. Stafford is out, who has been balling out. And Kaepernick, who started off slow, but has been getting it done as of late. So those are three quarterbacks that are out that are going to be tough. And can I mention the one wide receiver that is going to be out for people that's tough?
Your romance?
Megatron is out as well, even though I don't have him this year, so I don't like him as much because I have to play against him.
That's why I have a bromance with Kaepernick, because I actually have him, and I'm in a situation on one of my teams that this is when you screw up with your bye weeks. I have Peyton Manning, and then I have Kaepernick on my bench. So I'm going to tell you the quarterback that I put in my picks that's going to save me this week. There are a lot of other positions you're going to have to save yourself at. You know, a lot of wide receivers are out. A lot of running backs.
Reggie is out. That's going to kill me. I have about, I think, 5 or 6 players out in one of my leagues. So I have no idea as of yet what I'm doing with that league.
Right. I've looked mine over, and I'm going to be listening to Prost later in the show because he's going to be on from his Packer man cave down in San Diego, and he's going to give us an injury report. I'm listening intently because there's a lot of last-minute people and a lot of last-minute players you're not going to have at your disposal either. So that's why you're trudging. You're trudging. You're going to make it. You're going to make it. Thanks to Big Balls Fantasy Football, if you listen to us.
And it's not going to be an easy week either for us Bears fans.
No, not at all.
We have to play the Packers the first time this season, and we don't have our quarterback. We don't have Lance Briggs. We've got a few other people that are banged up a little bit. So what's your prediction on this game?
Well, and a lot of other ands. And we're in Lambeau. And it's the first time we've played in Lambeau on Monday Night Football since 1997. A lot of ands. But I do have some positives here.
Okay, I want to hear the stats. I know you came up with a bunch of them.
Well, it's all the ones every other sports show talks about, but I find them really interesting. We first met, Jenilee, in 1921. We were called the Chicago Staleys. They were the Packers because they were a bunch of, meat packers up there, cheese packers, all that crap. November 27, 1921, we've met 187 times since then.
And who has the better record? Because I think I was surprised. I was surprised about this one.
Yes. We are inching up. We are an inch above them. It's 92 and 88. 92 and 88. So this week we're going to make it 93. I'm
impressed with our old school Bears.
Yeah.
It has not been recently, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting statistic that when I looked up, I was like, what, really? Us this season? And this is the difference, and we're going to get into the fantasy implications of this game. We are a damn high-scoring offense. We're losing some games, but we are a high-scoring offense. We have the second top-scoring offense in the league right now. We are at 30.4 points a game. The Packers are right behind us at number 3 with 30.3. How's that for a margin?
And that's pretty good. And, we have been losing the games. We've had very close losses, so we haven't been blown out yet.
No.
And I think that overall in offense, including yardage, all those, everything broken down, we're like 11th. So I know the Bears have been like 25th, 21st in the last few years in offense. So we're up there. But our defense is a lot lower than it normally is. Our defense is normally top 10.
And I wanted to get into that, and I didn't even talk to you about this before the show. but in one of my leagues, in one of them, I had to do this. I had to drop the Bears defense. They're just not putting up the points this year. There were at least 5 or 6 defenses on the waiver wire that had more points than the Bears defense. So it would really help if our defense kicked in so we could actually not have these high-scoring, shootouts.
Well, it'd be great. It would help our offense out for sure. And, the thing is they're still getting turnovers, which is great for fantasy, but they're allowing so many yards and so many points scored that's what's killing you. So who did you pick up? I'm interested. Who did you pick up?
Dallas. Had to pick up Dallas. They actually had 18 more points for the season, and they had better matchups going down the line.
And they're playing the Vikings. So
exactly. So I was like, why not? It was on one of my teams that was 2-5, so it was rebuilding time. Sometimes, as you fantasy managers know out there, you just need to take the mallet and just slam it through the lineup and get something else to work. So let's talk about the fact that this is a divisional matchup. Divisional matchups, what do we think of them, Jenilee, fantasy-wise?
They're typically not fun for fantasy. You might get 1 or 2 players in a game that go off, but most everyone does just average or below what you expect them to do. Mm-hmm. So, and like I think it's maybe not going to be high scoring, which sounds so weird, but our games are typically low scoring against the Packers. Even the Packers don't score more. So even though both defenses are playing bad, what if they step up for some reason and the offenses don't score? It's just, you never know in divisional matchups.
And that is what happens in divisional matchups. Against everybody else, our defense sucks. All of a sudden, we're going to step up. They're going to step up. We're going to have this inspirational.
Because you know each other.
Exactly.
You know each other. So.
Exactly. So, for goodness sake, playing either of the defenses, that, is a very iffy situation. But who do you think? Pick one player. Pick one or 2 players that you think might actually perform in this game.
I think Forte is going to. I think he has to. I think we have to lean on the run. We're going to have to make that work. Our offensive line has been opening up those holes. So they have been really helping him out this year. And, we might have to chuck the ball down, do some short passes, try to get yards after the catch.
Right.
And if that's the case, then Forte is going to get points in PPR as well. So I predict he's going to still be a big one this week. I really need Marshall to be, but because I'm wearing him, but I don't know.
I am too.
I don't know.
I'm with you on Marshall, but I'm going to give, in one of my picks, one of the ones I think, so you're going to have to watch Beast Mode and later in the show to actually get my other pick. But I think, surprisingly, if you're in a super pinch, if you look on the waiver wire and you're dealing with Chad Henne, for crying out loud, or just really horrible quarterbacks, take a chance on McCown. What do you got to lose? You're playing against kind of an iffy defense. He did well last week. It was the Redskins' defense, mind you. But he did well. He almost got us back in that game. He got us back in the game and almost won the damn game.
Yeah, I would still say that's a 5 on the ball scale.
Very
but
5.
Very you have 5. Big balls and do it. And on the Packers side, I think Rodgers is definitely going to still do well. At least average at worst.
Of course.
And Jordy Nelson will probably be out there doing his thing. However, I don't think Eddie Lacy is going to get as many fantasy points as people might be expecting. I think that the Bears are going to at least try to shut them down against the run.
He's not going to Brandon Jacobs us? No? You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that the Bears are going to really go out there and focus on stopping the run. They didn't play Reggie Bush well, but they play Adrian Peterson very well. And Bush is a totally different back than Lacy. So I just wouldn't guarantee that he's going to get you, 15 to 20 fantasy points. I don't know about that.
Your lips to the Bears God's ears, for crying out loud. All right. We're going to come back, and she's going to give you her pick she gives you every week. Her wonderful, wonderful real men. Are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right. Let's do it.